Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about something very important. But before we do, how are you all doing today? Are you being good to yourself? Please know being good to yourself is extremely important. We are living in some difficult times with some difficult people. So please know self-care is very important. Because you are important. God loves you and is with you. And one of the things you can do with in regards to being good to yourself is when you realize someone is mistreating you, is to develop a plan where you can exit their life and have nothing or very little to do with them going forward. Why is this so important? Because people that mistreat you know what they are doing is wrong. There are no misunderstandings. There is nothing you can do to change who and what this person is and why they are treating you the way they are treating you. For decades now we've been told to second-guess ourselves. And to try to work through things. Maybe if you talk to them a certain way, they will be more open to hear how they are hurting you. Meanwhile, there is another thought process that is being pumped into society. That even if someone is treating you extremely well and they so-called love you, and you love them, if you are bored, if you are quite simply bored, it's okay to upend everyone's life and destroy a perfectly good household and leave over that boredom. Both thought processes are destructive to the innocent involved. But let's talk about the first one. Let me tell you. The longer you stick it out with a narcissist or sociopath or borderline or psychopath, you are giving them without knowing it, chance after chance to set you up and to end your life. Well, this delightful individual behind me, Melody Ferris, was married to a man named Gary. They were married for a long time. Gary was a well-to-do attorney. Well, Melody started to cheat on Gary. And not only that, she spent lots of his money on her cheating escapades. Well, Gary tried to get her to curb her spending and tried to talk to her, and it appears Gary and at least one of his sons figured out that Melody was cheating on Gary and spending all of his money while doing so. Well, Gary isn't living anymore. And guess who was convicted of doing this horrible deed? That's right. The delightful individual behind me. Melody Ferris was just sentenced to life for ending the life of her husband Gary Ferris. And I will leave a link in the box below for this news story. Because at her sentencing, she stated the person that really deleted her husband was her son. As you can tell, her son was visibly surprised and had a look on his face as if to say, "What the heck? I wasn't even there, you crazy lady." Look. Narcissists and other evil types are always plotting your downfall. Some are more masterful at it than others. And others not so much. And again, I believe those that do get caught, and there are a lot of them getting caught lately, it's because of their own narcissism. You see, it's been said for many years, narcissists usually don't delete people. And that's not exactly true. And the reason why it's not exactly true is because sure, narcissists might not get their start like a psychopath might, such as causing harm to animals and things like that. But what narcissists will do is cause great harm to people emotionally and in other ways. Even when they are kids, they start to learn and hone their craft in setting people up, how to become a great manipulator. And with each success where they are able to get others in trouble, and their tears, especially for the female narcissist, gets them out of jam after jam after jam, they start to feel like they are untouchable and everything bad they do others will just take the blame for it. And they start to believe their own hype about how much people actually believe their lies. Because yes, people likely do believe their lies. But there are likely a great many that don't. They just don't want to be bothered by the narcissist situation. So they just stay neutral and they don't get involved. And sometimes the narcissist can confuse this person not saying anything as being believed. Even though narcissists are masters at reading people, I just think they get metaphorically drunk with their own hype and how much of a master of manipulation they are. So when they start getting the urge to end someone, And even though the psychopath tends to act on those urges especially early on, the narcissist I believe has those same urges early on as well. But it's their self-preservation that makes them not act out. Because narcissists are always scanning and trying to understand what they can get away with, all without getting caught. So deleting someone in the case of the narcissist I believe happens many years later. Once they feel like they can just explain any and everything away that they do. And I believe that was the case with this Melody Ferris woman behind me and many others just like her. And here's the thing. What if she was a bit smarter and she plotted and planned for years? Like this guy Edward Wayne Edwards, that we've recently talked about. And I know there is controversy over which crimes he actually did and which ones are just fiction. Because some people think he deleted everyone. And others don't think such things. However, what I can say, after looking at all of the tie-ins and circumstantial evidence, because in some of these cases, most if not all of the suspects, all that is there is circumstantial evidence. I think it's more than possible he committed some of these high-profile deletions that some accuse him of. Not all, but some. And even if he did some, he was a master setup artist. And here's the thing. This is what narcissists and psychopaths love to do to people. Set them up. And it starts early on in school for those that are extremely smart. They might make it look like someone stole another kid's bike. And they will go to great lengths to make all of the evidence steer towards a particular kid. All the while, they sit back and watch and enjoy watching an innocent person get into trouble. Well, what if this lady was as smart as Edward Wayne Edwards and plotted to frame her son from the very start? She could have plotted and planned for several years, putting together the pieces to make all of the evidence point to her son. But thankfully that didn't happen. She likely got drunk with her own hype. She thought she could just explain it all away and or cry and everything would get fixed and all of her problems would go away. But that didn't happen. But what you should take away from all of this is, no matter if you are a son or daughter of a narcissist, or a husband or a wife, or a boyfriend or girlfriend, your life and freedom are in danger the longer that you spend time with these entities, because even if their plan isn't well thought out, they are still planning on taking you down, taking your money, ruining your life and having you arrested. There are several people here on this channel that have stories of their narcissist spouse having them arrested for BS reasons. All because they want to take you down a notch. They want to ruin your dreams to be in a certain profession. Or they want you to now appear in a certain way or light in the community. And then in some instances like this one regarding Melody Ferris and Gary Ferris, they might just end your life and cry they had no idea. Or it was all self-defense. Look. Gary shouldn't have had to feel like he owed this woman anything and to work it out with her. And though there are stories, and I do mean hundreds and hundreds of stories of both men and women, that are utter evil, deleting those that love them. The truth is, the reason why men that are put through this evil stay longer than normal, is because they are afraid that they will lose all of their money. And this is why marriage and divorce laws need to change. So both men and women are protected fairly and in an equal manner. Because I know for a fact this woman was cheating not just because she's a demon. Because narcissist men and can and will do the same. But the added part to when a narcissist woman does such an evil thing is, they will think, what can he do about it? I will just drag him through court and everyone will believe me because I'm a woman. And here's the thing. If we are talking about divorce and her looking for a payday, she would be mostly right with her assumption about how things would go her way. But her trouble was believing that deleting someone would play out the same exact way. And she didn't understand it's a completely different system and people could see through the BS. And even if she divorced Gary and lied in court, they would be able to see through her BS there too. The only difference is, they would have likely went along with her lies even though they could see they were lies in such a place like divorce court. But deleting someone, that's a different story. But we will continue to see both evil men and women doing this to those that love them and those they are supposed to love. Even though we know narcissists can't love. But this will continue to happen unless people can learn to detach as soon as evil demons like this let their mask slip. I often say, no matter if you are a man or woman, if you are stuck in such a relationship, especially if it's marriage with assets and children, the second you see the mask slip, maybe they scream at you for no good reason at all. They accuse you of something you didn't do. Or you find out they cheated on you. Do not tell them what your plans are. Don't even tell them that you know about such things. Just start planning, and I do mean planning to escape. And you might have to interview 100 lawyers before you find one that you trust and that you know will help you. You might spend the extra money and hire a private investigator to get evidence as to what is happening and to what your evil spouse is up to. Document. And sadly most people that are in such a boat, they don't do any of that. However, they spend their time trying to work things out. Because though leaving a monster like this won't be perfect, and there might be some losses, but at least you will be amongst the living. And weirdly enough, I've heard of good endings where the person being cheated on or mistreated did the exact things we talked about. And they did them early, and they were the ones that filed for divorce. And they had mountains of evidence. And they end up coming out better than okay. But either way, if you do nothing, you are risking having someone like this ending your life, or one of her lovers ending your life. And if you have a parent like this, they might try to blame you for it. Something to think about. Well, that's all I have for today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.